I'm Fred.
And you're the chair of the film?
Yes, I'm the chair, the originator, starter. We're going into our 9th year, and which is great. We're next year, January, we're going to our 10th year, and that's going to be a big milestone.
Yeah, so you guys usually have it in January.
Correct. But
So-
January this year was COVID, so we didn't have access to the theater where we normally would show the films. So last year we ended up doing it as a drive-in out in the parking lot, which was all right, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
This year we're back in the theater.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about how the film festival actually began?
Sure. Back in 2010, the local Chamber of Commerce board asked me if I would be interested in creating something that would add a little more activity to Borrego, especially in those parts of the months which are kind of slow down here, generate a little more interest in the economy and activities. So at that time, I didn't know film festival for nothing. So I went up to the Idlewild Film Festival and talked with the owner there and spent 7 days with their festival to see how do you do a film festival. And I got a lot of information from him, and eventually we became the Borrego Springs Film Festival and started fundraising. So from 2010 to 2014, we were trying to get enough money just to get off the ground. So we did fundraisers here all that time in town. And it's like, okay, but we didn't know whether it was going to take off or it was going to be a non-starter or anything. But in 2014, when we had our first festival up here at our local theater, we had about, out of 60 films submitted when we put it out there on Film Freeway, the brokerage for film festivals. We had, what was it now? I think we had about 28 films that were showing that time. Very small beginning. But ever since that time period, the number of films submitted has increased by a lot. I mean, one year we had 560 submittals.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we said. And I mean, my friend and one other person, we sit there and screen. We get other volunteer screeners, but not everybody screens every single film, but we do.
Yeah.
So that was a slog. But we have found over the years, the more films that we see, the more we start learning that language as to what makes a good film. You can articulate it, or you can sort of gut feel it, because when you see it, things start to fall into place, whether or not you have a great film school basis for understanding the basic language, the elements, the plot line, the continuity, the sound, the focus, all the technical stuff, on and on and on. We didn't exactly have that. We kind of learned it, from wonderful experience. So since 2014, I don't know, I've seen a few thousand films that have been submitted over the years. And it's like, wow. But I'm a film buff anyway.
Yeah.
I've been in sort of the local film historian down here and have worked for the state park when I was a ranger as a film liaison. So I worked directly with the film companies and like that when they're trying to do films or doing commercials or any of that technical stuff. The films are fascinating. There's no doubt about it. There's something about the idea of creating a statement, creating a story, and putting it on a medium that moves. And you can sort of manipulate it, but mostly you learn how to tell a good story.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell a good story, it doesn't matter whether you're writing it or putting it on film. You got to tell a good story. And that's what we've found over the years. More and more of our selections, we respond to just like anybody else who sees the film for the first time. Oh, I enjoyed that. Why? Because the elements were there. You caught into the story. It caught you enough to keep you going. And you either enjoyed it or you didn't enjoy it as much, but that's personal stuff. But you still have to have a good story.
Yeah.
And
So, what type of categories do you show?
We're totally wide open here. We're not thematic like a lot of film festivals. So we have a category for best genre. That's what our awards are. So we have best genre for animation, narrative shorts, narrative features, animation, documentaries, and Hispanic Latin. So it's totally wide open.
Oh wow.
So with that in mind, our submissions come from all over the world. So at any rate, we think we have done something here, which based on the filmmakers who tell us, that's the ones who have rated us over the years.
Okay.
They come here, they have talked to each other, since it's not that big a business that nobody knows each other totally. They eventually do talk to each other as to where's a good place. And film festivals are sort of the starting point for a lot of filmmakers. You know, they got to get something on screen.
Yeah.
It's nice to know what the response is, right? After you put your heart and soul and dollars into making it. And we're getting more filmmakers coming every year to actually come and see what the reaction is here in Borrego.
So do you see like returning directors or returning
Yes.
filmmakers
Oh, yeah.
each year?
We've had a couple that have been here ever since we started.
Oh wow.
They keep submitting. Sometimes they win something, sometimes they don't, but they like us. And they like the genre of what they're producing. It's not always the same thing. We have one guy who's he started something as a drama, then he went into comedy, then he did some sort of in-between genres, but he likes coming back down here, so he's been here ever since.
Okay.
You know? So we do have our repeat use submitters, and that's great, because now we're starting to create a kind of dialogue with the people they know, and they introduce them to come down here to us without necessarily, who are you? You know, what are you? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So we're doing okay, but the filmmakers, they rate us. And the last 3 years, Film Freeway publishes ratings based on the 10,000 film festivals that they have in their purview. We're in the top 100.
Oh wow.
That's in 3 years. So,
That's incredible.
we're happy. But I think one of the things that we do here is we're not here to sell tickets. It's
Yeah.
not profit. You know, we make enough money to pay our bills for the next year. But our gig is we want to honor the filmmaker as an artist and as somebody, as a storyteller, and to honor their art.
Which me as a I want to be a director eventually. Like I love that you guys do that.
Yeah, and so the filmmakers starting to call us the Borrego Springs Filmmakers Festival, which is, you know, quite an honor for us because it means that we're doing it right.
Yeah.
We treat them well. We try to support them where we can. We don't have gigantic Palm Springs, Sundance, Toronto budgets, but the money that we do use or bring to bear here, we try to focus that on the filmmakers, the patrons, the idea of what films really are about. You know?
Yeah.
You can't do it unless you commit to it. And if you don't commit to it, it shows. Well, it shows because they didn't make the cut. But those that made the cut, they sacrifice a lot to put their art out there. We get it. So if they manage to come down here, you know, we'll try to help them if we can and like that.
Oh yeah. So how many films do you usually air during their festival?
We've been running about 65 to 70
Okay.
in the past 3 or 4 years because we've had that many good ones. Most of them are shorts, you know, short animations like that. The long ones might be a long documentary. We don't get as many narrative features because it's expensive to make them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the narrative shorts and the documentary shorts and animations, of course, are usually short. But you never know what comes from being here. You know, we had a animation that was done, I think 3 years ago, maybe 4 on the outside. And it didn't win anything here. Went to a few other film festivals. It caught on. It was a nominee for the Academy Award for animation.
Oh, wow.
It didn't win there, but it was nominated. So that's telling us that we've got some really quality filmmakers that are getting into the queue of trying to sell their film, trying to get their work out there, trying to get it displayed. And we think we're a good screen to get people sort of an initial or at least early on in their career screen.
A good starting point for...
Right. And let them know, because what they say, you got to have skin of a rhinoceros because rejection is part of the game. Yeah, if you don't make it, you don't make it. But we do it on as fair a basis as we can. Because we have screeners, and then the screeners are their scores on a 1 to 10 basis on a number of different topics are averaged out, and then the ones that are 8 and above on a scale of 10, they go to our individual judges, and the judge panels, each genre has 3 people, so they average their scores. So we try not to make it your opinion or my opinion.
Okay.
It's a kind of a group opinion, because the more we do that way, then when we show it to our audiences, it's like you see the film for the first time, and then you judge it to see whether or not you like it or not.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to enter next year's
all they got to do is go to our website, Borrego Springs Film Festival.org, and there'll be a button that says Submit Film. Do that. You follow the instructions, and it's $20, and there you go. And then we'll judge it and look at the film over the course between now and October 1st, and it's our submission period. Actually, April 1st to October 1st, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay. And so since next year is the 10th anniversary of the festival,
right?
Are you planning to do anything special for that? Or?
Well, that's what we're trying to talk to people about. Come up with something that would get us out of the box of doing it the same old way, because it is a milestone.
Yeah.
And we want to do something different, but all it takes is people, money, and energy. Usually money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do as much fundraising and like that to see if we can come up with something special, but we don't know what the special is right now.
Yeah.
Any suggestions that get submitted to us, we're happy to look at and see if it's doable.
I mean, I could have a few ideas there. But...
Well, we appreciate that, because the point is we can't pretend like we've got all the answers, right?
Yeah.
This is a very collaborative kind of business, as you know, or will know.
Yeah.
And the collaboration is based on trust. If you trust your fellow team members, they're going to work hard to make the end result even better, right? As long as they believe in it. You got to believe in your project.
You do.
Yeah.
You really do. Like, you start a project, you need to see it through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the technical side, as we all know, it can go sideways, upside down, stop, and you just don't want to necessarily get all hung up by the details. But you got to start with a good concept, and that means a good story.
Yeah.
The story's got to be pretty well thought out, even if it's not going to be the exact screenplay, as all screenplayers know.
Yeah, it changes often.
Oh, yeah. But you still got to come up with a good concept, because otherwise, what are you doing? You're just sort of throwing stuff in the air to see what lands. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I wish I known about this sooner. Otherwise, I would come down next week and for it.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Next January, 12th through the 16th, Martin Luther King's holidays. We've always done it on Martin Luther King's holidays, except last year. Then that's our time frame, and it boosts the economy here a little bit in January when it's a little slow. People are still slow coming back from the Christmas holidays for Borrego. So it provides a little bit more activities here and brings hopefully a few more people in the town, although our goal isn't to try to become Palm Springs. I don't know if we want to be that. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
We're talking the mega bucks and the mega celebrities and mega parties and mega this and that. We like to think we're a little more intimate.
Yeah, so do you guys get a lot of students admission since you guys are a
Yep,
smaller
a lot
one?
of Chapman College folks, USC, UCLA, senior students, senior projects. We've had quite a few submitted. Some of them make the cut, and those that do, a couple have even gone on to got best genre. So
Oh, wow.
it's like everything else. Your talent is on display. You got to put your best foot forward with the talent that you have, the resources that you have, and we look at it, and but we don't look at it. Oh, you're from there, or you're from here, or from there. No, we don't even look at who submitted the film. We just look at the film and then rate it on that 1 to 10 basis.
Yeah, that sounds like great.
Yeah, well, that's who we are, and hopefully that's what we'll continue to be down the line here.
Yeah, I hope to put a film in hopefully next year, fingers crossed. But
Well, you don't know where to submit now.
yeah, I'm talking to a few of my buddies who do film.
Well, let them know. We're we're open for submittals, and you heard how we grade. It's not my choice or it's his choice or that choice. It's a group choice
Yeah,
because we think that's going to be what we want to give our patrons who are visiting the film festival. That kind of open-ended choice for themselves. That this was the best that we thought a cross section of the audience would accept.
yeah. So do you get any films actually being filmed out here?
Oh yeah, we're getting more people coming down here to shoot. Matter of fact, we have a filmography here. I developed it over the years, but it was anything that was on screen. So it's YouTube or somebody's GoPro like that. If they show Borrego, I put it on the filmography. But as far as student films, independent films, and commercial films, it's also on that filmography. I can send it to you if you like.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, but we go back to 1920, all the way up to X-Files and then Bosch. We had episodes that were shot here in the Salton Sea. We've got Last Days of the Desert, Ewan McGregor's film on Jesus Christ in the desert, filmed out here in our desert.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. It didn't get that wide a circulation because it's an independent film, but it was an interesting film. And the photographer was only an Academy Award winner 3 times running before he did it here. So, cinematographer.
Yeah.
And what it does say is we've had a history of people doing the filming in the past here, and you'll see that in the filmography, but it's spotty. There's a lot of time in between when nothing's happening at all. But this area is great when it comes to car commercials and other kinds of commercials. And it has been for quite a few years.
Yeah, I could imagine because it's a little bit quieter than other places.
And they like the grade up here.
Oh yeah, I drove in from that direction. Oh my God, there are some good things that might give me some ideas.
See, right away, you're thinking that, wow, this could be a great location. This could be a great shot. And it gets a lot of attention that we have availability here. And the town is pretty film friendly too. So it doesn't hurt that we've got people that are at least aware that films are shot down here.
That's good. Yeah.